Dealer, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
Happy New Year to everybody. No better place to start a new year than right here at the Furniture Factory. I'm sorry, Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. How are you, Wes?
Well, I'm still alive. I woke up and
sun rose.
The sun rose, and it's setting right now, so I guess the world didn't tumble.
That's right. Well, where do you want to start?
Well, I mean, it was
you want to start with the snaps, or
so?
What was the deal there that you saw?
Well, I mean, the guys had trouble snapping
all year long.
Well, really for the last 2-3 years. You just didn't notice because Bryce is a little guy.
It's true.
And he's a shortstop, and he would take it. And, I mean, the snaps were one of the things. There were so many things. First of all, I'd like to, first person I thought of was Wolverine Dan.
Yeah.
And when I was watching the game, at the end of the game, they won. And listen, they deserved to win the game. They outplayed Alabama. I thought we were outcoached, and we were outplayed. But they had a lot of things happen that were really fortunate, like this play right there. The ball's tipped. It's probably going to get picked off if it's not tipped.
Yeah, ESPN's running highlights of the Rose Bowl right now.
Around there. 13's the ball's going to be overthrown. He's going to intercept it.
Yeah, he tipped it up.
Yeah, but we can't cover the back out of the backfield. And I've said, you've heard me say it for years.
Couldn't stop the run.
Yeah, well, I thought they stopped the run for the most part. They got us on this play right here. 17 filled the wrong hole. You'll see it. But overall,
overtime, they ran it right down his throat.
Well, I mean, but the fact that the final score was 27-20.
Yes.
In overtime.
Yes.
They didn't run it down their throat the whole game.
I was talking about overtime. Yeah. The overtime possession.
Yeah, well, I thought they did it. They outplayed Alabama in the overtime possession. And you see 65 get knocked back all the way into the play on the last play of the game, and that can't happen. No. So it was, I thought that the better team won the game. The halftime adjustments Alabama made were incredible. I knew the way they didn't play very good the first half offensively, especially. But the halftime they came out, they made some adjustments, especially on defense, shut Michigan down, and driving the ball and you turn it over. That's the difference in the game. That turned the whole game. If you don't turn the ball over, you're about to score, and the game there's no way they can win. To me, it was little things in this game, but you can't turn the ball over in a big game like that in that situation. 10 minutes left, you're basically they can't stop you right there.
Yeah.
It turned the game around. And after that, I mean, they're going to look back. There's so many plays in this game, little plays. I mean, you tip 4 balls, you don't get one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought McCarthy played. The best play he made was on the double pass. The catch he made was the best catch all night.
Yeah.
There's a lot to that, though. But, overtime they score, but you got to score. I mean, looks like you – and, everybody's debating the play. I get it. I didn't like the last play either because it didn't work.
Hindsight.
Yeah, but I wouldn't have called it, though. I mean, to be honest with you. It looked like they knew the play the whole time.
It really did.
So, anyway, it was a wonderful run by Alabama that ended, unfortunately, in overtime and out in the Rose Bowl. And they were beat by a good team. I felt really good before the game. The Big Ten had got hosed all but except for Auburn. who did not show up for the bowl game at all.
Yeah.
And
that was 21-0 before
I mean,
you
it
could
just,
get comfortable.
Yeah, it was an ugly performance. So I felt really good going into the game. I thought that the Big Ten, the three teams that they played, really got destroyed in the bowl games. But I thought we were out coached early. I saw a whole bunch of different things they did were brilliant. The way they did the motion early, they'd watch tape and did some things that other people have done. Lots of motion, and they run the ball to the motion where it came from.
Yeah.
You look at in the first half, you remember last year when we were sliding the wrong way?
Yes.
In Texas A&M 2 years ago, they did similar stuff to that we hadn't seen all year. They did the same thing, got us sliding the wrong way. 65, big play in the game. Doesn't pick up the inside guy. That stuff I taught my guys in middle school. He knows better than that. I just thought that that Michigan played faster than we did at times. It made big plays because you just felt the whole game like, well, Alabama's just this close to having a big play the way Michigan was playing, and they never really could put a big play together.
256-576-4977 is the telephone number. Wolverine Dan is on line 2. Wolverine Dan, the floor is yours. Congratulations to your Wolverines, sir.
Well, I have a different perspective on the game than Wes does. It's hard for me to really talk about it because Wes, Wes played for Alabama. And not only he played, he had a cup of coffee in the NFL. I mean, I'm just a guy that likes his football team, okay? So, every time I make a take, I think to myself, well, I don't want to disrespect myself to a guy that played pro football, for crying out loud. But I'll say this, that Alabama, from where they started to where they are now, at the end of the year, he did a really great job coaching the team. A lot of 5 stars, but if you can't coach the 5-star, it doesn't matter how many stars that has next to his name. If you can't get a coach to coach him, it doesn't matter. But this, Nick Saban did. I like the fact that we were very physical. On West, to me, it almost looked like the Michigan was the SEC team. We were very physical, flying around the ball, making some hard hits. The game could have actually started out totally wrong for us. I mean, that interception, West, thank God his heel was on the sideline because that could have easily just made a steamroll us over if that would have turned it over into a touchdown, which it probably could have. The last play of the game, I thought, well, gee, okay, Milroe is probably going to be part of this some way. I think maybe his wheels he's so fast, he's so elusive, I can see him doing a quarterback sweep with an option to the tight end or something. Because once Milroe gets out of the pocket, everybody draws to him, which that frees a wide receiver. So I was surprised about the play. Listen, from losing the first game of the year and then what you did the rest of the year, it's not a total loss, okay? And, Wes, the way I see it, next year, 12-team playoff, you can almost guarantee 100% that Alabama's going to be in it every year, okay? It's going to be a totally different picture. I think if we play like we did against Bama, against Washington, there's a very good possibility that we can win the game. That's what it's going to take. But now I think our Achilles heel, West, was our special teams. It started with missing an extra point, muff punt returns, missed field goals. We got lucky in a way. You think about it with a team like Bama and the way they played at the end of the year, we got very fortunate, okay? It could have been a real nightmare. So, and then, of course, Corum, West, I think Corum's just a really good running back. He came back for a purpose, and the guy's just stout. I mean, I can see him being in the NFL. I don't know how effective he's going to be, but, boy, he could just run the ball, and it's hard to find the guy when you're – and then speaking of that, some of the defensive calls, our defensive coordinator is a really good defensive coach. I remember seeing a defensive play where we blitzed, but what happened is our big lineman was wrestling with one of your guards, and then our linebacker or defensive back was kind of almost doing like a little sneak. It was behind the lineman where you couldn't see him. Then all of a sudden, they went different ways, and then the lineman was looking both ways saying, who do I block? And then by that time, they got to the mill roll, which, six sacks, West, that wasn't good. But
that's right.
I think for Bama's situation, I think Bama's problem, Bama didn't really play that bad. I think one player, West, and you'll agree with me because you know this guy determines how the offense runs, is the center was having a bad day, could not snap the ball. And West, I think that's, if he would have snapped the ball cleanly, especially the last play of the game where Milroe didn't have to bend over West, I think you probably could have won.
Well, the snaps were
first drive of the third quarter. I mean, everything was humming along.
Alabama didn't run the ball well enough. They ran it and then they stopped. I'll never understand that. They put the freshman in, they get 2 first downs, moving the ball, then he never carries the ball again. I don't understand that.
Yeah.
He was able to make the cuts. He has a bunch of cuts. But Dan, let me tell you this first. I picked up my phone to call you as soon as the game was over. And I didn't have your number. I don't know. I used to have your number. I don't know how I didn't have your number.
Well, you're
but I want to tell you congratulations. It's been a long time since Michigan played for a national championship. They're to me, they have a good chance of winning this next game. Washington quarterback, though, is really, really good. Texas found that out. He can really throw the ball. And Texas showed a lot of intestinal fortitude to come back at the end and made it a game.
Sure did.
A lot of people went to bed thinking that game was over, and
came down to the very last play.
Texas didn't play very well, turned the ball over way too many times. The turnover to me in that game, in the Michigan game, was the turning point. That changed the momentum. Looked like Alabama was about to put the game away.
Did. Really did.
And then the fumble. But you got to hand it to Michigan in the fourth quarter. Reminded me a lot of Georgia when they beat Alabama. Were able to run the ball.
Yeah.
But it's little things. On the big run, you're talking about it overtime, the linebacker filled the wrong gap. He fills the right gap, it's no gain. You just can't make those mistakes in big games when it counts. When Steve, you say they're running it down your throat. No, they were.
I meant the overtime possession.
The overtime possession when he ran the big run.
2 big runs.
Yeah. The linebacker just filled. Everybody else was totally. Would have stopped him for no gain. That to me, they had the wrong linebacker in. Number 30 is the best linebacker. 32's hurt. 17 filled the wrong gap. Georgia boy. And
you're welcome.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's Marshall.
Yeah. In my closing, Wes, I want you to understand this. See, this is the neighbor's name, okay? This is what it means to me because there's times I've called the show and I'm a little obnoxious. Okay, I am. Okay, I get it because I'm just excited and I love my team. But I thought, I won this game, or I should say, my team won this game, and I've been on the airwaves and I'm trying to be the better person. I'm trying to tell you how it feels to me without being obnoxious, but I'll say this to your listeners. Wes Neighbors' Aunt Miss Lee lives across from me, and her and I have become very close. I brought her, I said before the game started, we talked a little bit. I came over there, and I gave her we gave her a Christmas gift just before Christmas anyway. I said, Miss Lee, I'm going to make some homemade chicken soup. So I brought her some chicken soup. We talked about the game a little bit, and it was kind of funny. We both laughed when we said this. Well, I said it. I said, Miss Lee, I love you, man, but I can't. I got to root for my Michigan Wolverines. I can't say good luck to you. And she said, I can't say the same thing. She said, but then we both started laughing. But Wes, I tell you what, she's the first one to call me after the game was over and being gracious and congratulating me. So Wes, it's called the Neighbors. As far as I'm concerned, the Neighbors class, and that's what that is.
So, Dan, I do have a question for you. Now that we know the Wolverines are playing for a title, and we also know that the Lions, it looks like they're opening with the Rams. So, what would mean more to you, a Wolverine national championship or the Lions to play in the Super Bowl? Not to win the Super Bowl, to play in the Super Bowl.
That's a silly question. And before I go any further with that, Wes, I know you probably watched the Lions-Dallas game. I was in there in Jerry's place. That was a lousy call. Becker did report because Golf pointed to the lineman and says, go over there and report to the ref. And before the game, Campbell said he was going to do these plays. The ref knew what was going on. It was a bad call, Wes. That should have been a two-point conversion. But the thing that gets me is the third time they tried it, the two-point conversion. There's two things I thought when it comes to the Lions game at Jerry's place. Number one, it shows that the coach believes in this team, which looks good for your players and makes your players feel good. But I think the third try, West, should have been a one-point deal and then go into overtime. But with that said, as far as Lions getting to the Super Bowl, I would prefer the first choice, because why do you want to go to Super Bowl if you can't get the win? In a way, if you think about it, I prefer to have Michigan, go to the national championship and win it. So of course I'm going to pick the one that you would say that should be the winner, and that was Michigan. So, but Wes, give me your opinion about that game, and I'm going to hang up the phone, let someone else get on. Let me know what you think about that call, all right? Hey, guys, I appreciate it.
The call was horrible.
It really was.
It was bad.
Yeah.
The ref didn't take the time. He ran away from him. I don't get what was going on.
Yeah.
Now, they had two people reporting for a reason. They were trying to confuse. That was on purpose.
That's right.
But I agree with Dan. That third time they should have kicked it. That it really just mystifies me, the whole thing. They know they're going to run it. When a guy comes to report, you don't run off. You sit there. I mean, I don't know what he was doing. Anyway, but it's going to be fun to watch this game. Interesting matchup. Wonder what the line is. Be interested to see what the line is.
Last I saw, Michigan was a 4.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
They ended at a 1.5-point favorite over Bama.
Right.
It is 4.5 right now.
But Washington been an underdog the last 3 games.
They've been an underdog. Yeah, feels like they've been an underdog the entire season.
I couldn't help but think about
Urban
and our buddy that comes on all the time. Newhouser, which I learned something new about Newhouser. I look forward to talking to him again soon. But going back to the football game, very disappointing, but also proud of the team and what they grew into, and losing a game in overtime to a team like that they have a really good team. The quarterback played unbelievable. He had 3 or 4 balls. Of course, they were really hot balls. He had 3 or 4 balls that were dropped.
Yeah, I thought the drops were going to cost him. I thought the drops were going to be the story of the game, because there were 2 vital drops.
Yeah, one of them was really hot. The other one, there was a guy right there that I don't think the receiver ever saw the ball.
Yeah.
So, but still, he's a very accurate passer. But the play he made, my brother said he was at the game and he made that play. He says that was Auburn-esque. That's a play that Auburn makes against Alabama all the time.
Here is Coach Saban postgame. You've probably heard this, but just in case you haven't.
Coach Saban, could you talk about the last play and what made that one the best one that you wanted to go with?
We called 3 plays. One they called timeout, one we called timeout, and the last one that didn't work. So the fact that it didn't work made it a really bad call. You know what I mean? So, but we called timeout because we had a bad look. We had a good look on the first one. They must have known it. But Tommy just felt like the best thing that we could do was have a quarterback run. which was kind of our two-point play, one of our two-point plays for this game. And the ball was on the 3-yard line, which is just like a two-point play. So, but we didn't get it blocked, so it didn't work. We didn't execute it very well, and it didn't work. And they pressured, and we thought they would pressure, but we thought we could gap them and block them and make it work, and it didn't.
Next question comes from the right here.
So
something he said inside that answer.
Well, yeah, they pinched.
Yeah.
And the tight end got beat across the face.
They saw something on that first.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's why they called timeout.
Yeah.
Of course they did. They weren't lined up right, and they said, uh-oh. And that was smart.
Yeah.
It's a game of, listen, I was impressed with Michigan's coaching the whole game. I thought they tricked themselves a little bit too much at times. But, when you bat 4 balls up in the air, and you don't get any of them.
Yeah.
And the tip actually worked in their favor.
It did.
On the one play, 'cause it's obviously going to be overthrown and picked by either Kool-Aid or 13. But you can't take anything away from Michigan. I thought after the game, the better team won. That was just I just thought they had a better football team. They had more experience. And the game plan they had was some of the plays, it was just, I was sitting there, well, I could see it. Now, the adjustments at halftime were Saban-esque. He put them in a position to win the damn game. They just can't fumble the ball. And they got to pick up blitzes. And.
At first
when Dan's talking about the play where he didn't pick up anybody, you take the inside guy, the outside guy, he makes the throw, he steps up in the pocket, you can make plays. You always take the inside guy. It's an offensive lineman rule. Now, in the NFL, if you have back help, you take the big guy on big guy because it was a little guy blitzing.
That makes sense.
But if there's no help, you got 6, you got 5 blocking, you got to take the down guy. It gives them time to get there or step up. There were so many little things that these guys will remember the rest of their life because it was such a close game. But it didn't have to be, in my opinion. Really, I thought that I didn't like our game plan on offense. I thought their game plan on defense on offense was brilliant. The way they
once they settled in.
No, I'm talking about Michigan.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Whatever, the game's going to be fast for them early.
Yeah.
Alabama made too many mistakes early, but the game's going to be fast for them because they're playing these teams that are slow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you gotta hand it to them for winning the game. They did what they had to do in the last 10 minutes, and the turnover when that happened, I was like, and they missed the field goal. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
And then to get the
they
ball.
They left 4 points out there during regulation.
And on the 4th and 2 play, it was nuts. Just don't even have a guy for the back.
Yeah. Let's squeeze in Jeff from the Borough. What do you say, Jeff? How are you today?
I'm all right, Mr. Moulton. Neighbors, I know it's a sad night for y'all last night, but I'm glad the SEC's not in the championship game, and the 2 teams I wanted to win won. So great games, and I enjoyed both of them.
Well, I'm glad you had a good night, Dan.
Sounds like you had a happy New Year.
Yeah, happy.
Yeah.
So you had a lot to be happy about.
5-4 in bowl games. I'm glad Michigan watched them playing because it's new blood. People are tired of Alabama winning. They're tired.
Well, I get that now. But the thing about it is when, as you know, when somebody beats you, they don't get all your championships. Those are still there,
true.
so we're good.
That's true. But they got a chance for this year, and Bama ain't gonna be playing Monday night. They're done. The leader.
Well, thanks for pointing that out. He's so.
Leader of the pigskin's tired.
What happened to Kentucky?
Kentucky. Good night.
Against Clemson of all teams.
That's awful.
They blew it, no doubt. The penalties and turnovers hurt them. Ain't no question. I agree, no doubt. It's been that way all year for them. So I agree.
Because I was pulling for Kentucky.
I bet you.
I was too.
Yeah.
I was
pulling for Auburn. But you didn't give you really a good chance, did they?
No, they didn't.
No, I know it.
You neighbors. I bet you called up and gave me some adjustments, didn't you? When they was up 14, when they was up whatever, and then Brown took that kickoff back. See, Alabama wouldn't even kick to Barry and Brown. I know he's going to take it the distance. Alabama wouldn't even kick to him. They're scared to do it, too. He's the best kick returner in America, and you know it, and I know it.
Well, they kicked off a lot. So I don't know. There's a lot of kickoffs. He didn't catch any of them. There were 10 kickoffs in that game. Didn't we kick off the ball about 10 times?
It was a lot. It was a lot.
I guess I don't remember if we kicked. I think we just kicked it over his head. I don't remember. I don't remember that being even a thought, to be honest with you.
Well, he had 3 kickoff returns this year for touchdowns. How many did Bama have? 0. Okay? I don't give a darn.
We don't have to kick off return when we score every time we can get the ball.
Well, whatever. Maybe you ain't playing Monday night, and I love every single minute of it.
Oh, you gotta love Joe. Gotta love Joe.
And the tailback's got to get to the edge, and their feet are heavy like stones.
He's still going.
I don't know. I can't understand anything you're saying.
That's all good.
I'm the living legacy, Hall of Famer, and the leader of everything.
No, you're good. Enjoy those chips.
And you know it. Run and all night. Run and all night.
I have no idea what he said. You probably don't either, and it's all good. We're live here from Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill, and coming up at the top of the next hour, Coach Jack Crow is going to join us, and we'll talk a little dissection from what he saw in both semifinal games, be it in New Orleans or there in Pasadena. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hi folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Hey there, Bob Baumhauer here. Score big deals at Baumhauer's this football season and order from our Inflation Bites menu. Try our Buffalo Wing Special with fries and a complimentary beverage for only $9.99. And what's football without a cold beer? Our pitchers of Yingling and Yingling Flight are only $7.99, served all day, 7 days a week. And huddle up, football fans. Sign up today for our free NFL Pick'em contest at Baumhauers.com for weekly prizes. Baumhauers, legendary fun and legendary food.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you're ready to lower your utility bills, Eagle can insulate your home and help you save money with fiberglass, spray foam, and cellulose insulation, and can help you decide what's best for your project. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
You don't have to go somewhere else just so you can go somewhere new. Plan your next vacation with Huntsville International Airport and Breeze Airways. Enjoy friendly, convenient, nonstop travel to some of the most exciting destinations in the U.S., including the home of iconic casinos, world-class shows, dining, and entertainment. Las Vegas. With flights starting as low as just $79, Breeze has got you covered with easy, breezy, nonstop flights to Las Vegas. Book nonstop to Las Vegas now at flybreeze.com.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
The all-new Huntsville Boat Show returns to the Von Braun Center January 11th through the 14th, and I'll be broadcasting the Tom Abraham Show live from there at lunchtime on the 11th and 12th. The Huntsville Boat Show is an exciting time for all boat enthusiasts as it allows buyers to save thousands of dollars on the purchase of a new boat or just shop many brands for your future purchase. Plus, many other retailers will be on hand as well for all things water. So plan to be at the Huntsville Boat Show at the VBC January 11th through 14th. See you there.
Chapman Commercial Realty, your source for Alabama commercial real estate. Chapman Commercial Realty has the experience and expertise you're looking for when making commercial real estate decisions. If it's office space, retail space, investment property, or project development, Chapman Commercial Realty is your answer. Call Bill Chapman today at 256-656-8413. That's 256-656-8413. Or find them online at chapmancommercialrealty.com.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at woodyandersonford.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Back here at Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Come on by. By the way, it's karaoke going on here tonight. We'll find out from Jen later on what she's singing here at Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. By the way, Mark sent me a nice note. He was listening to the Huntsville City Classic. And of course, you heard it right here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, where Huntsville High, a winner over Austin in what was an instant classic in the championship game. And appreciate Huntsville Hospital Sports Center and TOC for allowing us to cover that 41st annual Huntsville City Classic, and congratulations to Huntsville High on winning that tournament for the first time since 1985. Tony is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline on a Tuesday. How are you, Tony?
Hey, guys, I'm doing great. I'm a little bit nervous because apparently the law is taking effect now. I'm not supposed to be having the phone up next to my ear, and I don't have a device. So I'm a little nervous, but I'm going to try anyway. Since it's dark, I might be all right.
Loud and clear. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I just wanted to talk about the Missouri game for a minute. Lifelong Missouri fan, and I didn't think that we'd ever get back to what Tinkle had done, and I think maybe we are. But if you watch that game Friday night, those first 3 quarters were ugly.
Hard to watch.
Yeah,
I watched the whole
game. It was 3-0, and you were like, "What am I watching?"
Well, I think. Let me. I think what happens is when you know the team is going to have a really hard time to score, you don't want to do anything to give them a break to turn the game around. In other words, you don't want any turnovers, and I think they got really conservative. And I think that's what happened in that game. And at the end, I mean, Ohio State's got a really good defense. And at the end, they got a couple people hurt. And then they were able to like of that rock, pound it. And then when they got the lead, they were able to run the ball, and Ohio State's defense got tired. And I think that was part of the plan the whole time. It was hard to watch.
Cody Schrader may be my favorite story of this college football season. Division II kid, and what he was able to do, what he earned on the football field. He ran the ball 29 times in that bowl game.
He plays really hard.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
Crazy. And I just had one other question. I know it's always so hard to see in the future, right? That's not something we can do. But do you feel like the pieces are in place there for Missouri to I know it's not the East anymore, but to do some damage in the SEC for the next few years?
You know, the SEC's a hard bear.
It is.
I like the coach. I like what he's doing.
You certainly
I
have
said
more
2 years ago.
Yep.
He's getting the Jimmies and Joes there.
Yeah.
You got to say that it's a good chance that he keeps it up.
If you tell me two programs other than Alabama and Georgia are making the playoffs next year, and you tell me it's Missouri and Ole Miss, I don't think too many people will be shocked by that statement.
That's the truth.
Yeah, I think you're probably right there. So I appreciate you guys, okay? Take care.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate the phone call. 256-576-4977. Claude is up next. How are you, Claude?
Doing great. How are you guys?
Doing real well. Appreciate the phone call.
Great.
Is that it, Claude?
No, I just said, how are y'all doing?
Oh, no,
good.
We're good.
We're doing good.
Okay. All right. So, Wes, what's going on down there at Alabama?
As far as what?
That's a pretty broad statement.
I mean, I don't know. I never have liked that thing about clapping your hands and stopping a couple of times, looking over the sideline and all that stuff. I know everybody does it, but I just think that, that throws people off sometimes.
Who do you think it threw off? I don't think. Listen, this is a game that, you bat 4 balls in the air, you don't get any of them. It's just you fumble the ball, you're carrying it in the wrong hand, but instead of believing in his speed, you got a young quarterback. He's still young. He's played in a lot of games now. He's still young. That really, to me, couldn't keep his footing during the game. He slipped. How many times?
He did.
And I don't. To me, he has the corner if he keeps running. Just keep running. Don't. He did the little thing, stumbled, and then he can't change when he's stumbling. You can't change where the ball is. And the guy made a good play, stripped the ball. They fought for it a little harder than we did and got it. To me, that was the biggest play of the game. It changed the momentum of the whole game, and it gave them hope. At that point, they didn't have much hope. I mean, we were running it, we were throwing it, we were doing everything we wanted to do. We were in the red zone, not in the red zone. We're about to go in the red zone.
Yeah, that's right.
If he keeps running, he might have scored on that play.
Yeah.
It's going to be at least a big play. Instead, he stumbled trying to make a move, and all he had to do is keep running.
Yeah.
There's so many little things that happened in that game. And listen, Michigan is a well-coached team. I'll go back and look at it to me, and what got on defense, we did not cover the back out of the backfield the entire night. And it was obvious they got us in situations where they were able to take advantage of us. Offensively, we just didn't play well enough to win. We were close to playing well. We played inconsistent, and it was inconsistent offensive line play. In my, you get 6 sacks, you're not supposed to win a game. and the offensive coordinator didn't get any of those sacks. I mean, really, you got to block them. You got to pick them up. You got to, I didn't like our game plan. I think we should have ran the ball more. I thought but
I heard you say that earlier in the show, and so I'm like you. That number 22 that hadn't played much, he was ripping them, and so wonder. I mean, I know you don't know why, maybe, but why?
I know he's been hurt all year. He has been hurt. You see the big arm thing. He hurt his elbow, and that's not a good injury for a running back.
No.
So he has that big thing on, but he's going to be a great player because he's Mark Ingram. But looks like his like a twin. The way he runs, everything.
Jace McClellan had a great game.
Oh, Jace McClellan. I didn't think 5 carried the ball enough and didn't get the ball enough. They were trying to get him to the ball on the on the pass out of the backfield. I thought that Michigan covered us well on the back out of the backfield. We made a couple of plays with it.
Right.
I just wish that we could have done better on the in the big part of the games with the backside of the backfield because they scored on it or got a first down on it maybe 6 times, and it was all basically the same play, just run out of different formations. So they're going to look at that tape, and that's the only thing we didn't adjust to during the game. Everything else, I mean, we shut them down in the third quarter. It looks like we were dominating the game, and the fumble turned it around. There's 10 minutes left, I guess, when it fumbled.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
And it reminded me so much of the Georgia game we lost for the championship, where we were winning the whole game, and all of a sudden, Georgia on 2nd and 30 throws a touchdown pass. I don't know. I'm so happy with this team and the way they developed. They're a young football team. That they're not going to lose much on offense. They are going to lose the both corners and both defensive ends, I believe. And so they'll have some guys to replace. But, they got a lot of guys that are really good, that are young, that hadn't played a lot, but I think they'll come up and be good players.
Right. Well, listen, guys, I'm going to let y'all go and let somebody else get on here, but appreciate talking to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Claude. Dale is up next. How are you, Dale?
I'm good. How y'all doing at Furniture Factory?
Doing well. Doing well.
I just wanted to say a few things. It wouldn't have come down to that last play if the offensive line would have done their job the whole night. I thought the defense, you hold Michigan to 20 points to a regular 60-minute game, you're supposed to win.
Agree.
And I want to ask y'all a question about, and this didn't make any difference in the ball game, but the timeout that Saban was calling on Michigan's last drive. It's like he just knew that Michigan was going to score, so he was trying to save time for his offense to get back down the field. But to me, that was just kind of saying, well, we're playing not to lose instead of playing to win. I don't know how y'all feel about that.
Nah, I only felt like that, what you're saying. I think it's smart to call timeout. I was yelling to call timeout. First of all, you give your defense that's Michigan just got a 4th and 2 and made a big play in the game. So you want to call timeout just to settle. Sure, you want to save time for you to have the chance to win the game if they do score. But they're not out there letting them score. So I don't. You don't think like that in a football game. You're trying to win every play.
Yeah.
You know what? The guy calls a timeout. The guy calls a timeout.
Boy, the one timeout that befuddled me more than anything was Harbaugh calling a timeout right before the end of regulation.
I didn't get that either.
I had no clue as to why in the world you do that.
So I don't think he knew. So
you don't think he would?
Well, but he asked who called timeout. It looked like to me
Did he really?
He was asking the thing.
I need to go back and look at that.
Yeah. So that was nuts.
Well, about that time I was calling him an a-hole because I didn't see any sense of calling. They already had the game, so why do you call a timeout? But anyway, I know the timeout didn't have anything to do with the game. Offensive line would have done their job. I think we'd have won that ball game by 10 points.
Hard to say that if the offensive line plays better, they don't win the game. No question.
Well, let's give credit to Michigan's defensive front.
Well, they played well, but still, Steve, I don't mean that you don't block a guy. I mean, middle school rules. You know what I'm saying? Middle school, to block the inside guy.
Yeah.
So it's just the little things that bother me, the bad snaps.
So Bama got out-coached.
Well, I don't know about that. The 65 didn't make the plays. Like he's saying, if the offensive line plays better, they win the game. I agree with him.
Yeah, it doesn't come down to the last play if offensive line does their job.
Well, the last play is hard to say. We ran a couple plays right into a slant. There's nothing an offensive line can do about that. I mean, when a guy slants, in other words, he's in front of you and he slants right into the hole, there's nothing really you can do with a 375 guy if he slants to the hole, but push him by the hole. And so if there's other pressure somewhere else and the guy can't come back, you just chalk that up. Good call on the defense.
Dale, appreciate the phone call, sir.
Okay, appreciate y'all. See y'all.
Let's go ahead and take our final timeout here of hour number 1. Steve in Tennessee, hang out for me. We'll get right to you on the other side.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Great food and the best live entertainment is what it's all about at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Head to downtown Huntsville every Tuesday for karaoke on the only outdoor karaoke stage in North Alabama. Thursday night is the Valley's longest running and biggest bike night. Food and drink specials, giveaways, and live music on the patio. And the Furniture Factory menu is fully loaded with options from steaks to salads, plus a whole lot more. Featuring a weekday happy hour that starts at 3. 619 Meridian Street, downtown Huntsville, and online at FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Loring & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopé. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Loring & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Normally, when you call a roofing company, all you hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Since 1965, the folks at Fleming have been focused on what you need, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement, commercial or residential. And when it comes to storm damage, you want Fleming on your side. They know all the ins and outs of insurance claims and will guide you through the entire process. Log on FlemingHSV.com and book your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Since 1986, Full Moon Barbecue has been cooking quality meats low and slow over a hickory wood-fired pit. From ribs and wings, brisket, turkey, catfish, and sausage to the best butts in town. If you're planning a holiday or a birthday party, Full Moon has a large banquet room. And Full Moon is ready for your next catering or tailgate. Just call us and we'll take care of everything. 256-713-0070. Full Moon Barbecue on the Parkway next to Costco. The best little pork house in Alabama.
Hi folks, Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Temperatures drop into the lower 30s as we head into the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. Scattered showers are in the forecast for Wednesday afternoon. At some points in the day, that rain could be a little more widespread. At some points, we could get a good bit of dry time. Temperatures hanging out in the low and mid-40s. We're dropping into the lower 30s through the overnight. Thursday actually looks quite fantastic. It's going to be cooler. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 40s. A couple of folks hitting the lower 50s. But the real winner here is going to be the amount of sunshine we get on Thursday. We're talking about a mostly sunny sky. Cloud cover and rain build back into the Tennessee Valley as we head into Friday, and then especially through the weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. I'm home for ESPN Radio. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Each week, check out our latest Zone deal online at 977ESPN.com.
I'm eating good food.
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
took her 3 days on the train, looking for some peace and quiet. Hope to see the sun again. But now she lives down by the ocean. She's taking care to look for sharks. They hang out in the local bar and they feed right after dark.
Back here at the Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Hate that we lost Jimmy Buffett in 2023. But nonetheless, always good to jam with. Better believe I'm a Parrot head. Gone to a couple of concerts back in the day, but nonetheless, we're back here at Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Let's squeeze in Steve from Tennessee. How are you, Steve?
I'm doing fine, guys. I love your show. I love to listen. I don't call in hardly ever, but anyway, I always learn something. But I wanted to ask Wes a question. I regard Coach Saban to be a very loyal guy. I mean, he repays loyalty and he expects loyalty. And I think that that's part of the reason why Seth McLaughlin has continued to play is because he's kind of earned a place in Saban's mind. But I hope we're looking for somebody in, through the transfer portal, or if there's somebody else on the depth chart. There must not be. And I also think that's the reason that, Haynes got some runs and was just tearing it up. And then all of a sudden you don't see him again. He put McClellan back in because McClellan's earned his place. But sometimes I think that bites you. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I was just curious what you think about it.
Well, I was surprised. I don't think Coach Saban's the one, first of all, doing the substitution. I think that's done before the game in a meeting. Say, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is the reps. And usually, we've seen it. Najee Harris in 2017 hadn't played all year, basically. Plays in the bowl game and the championship game against Georgia. Does amazing.
Yeah.
Trent Richardson against Texas has the first long touchdown run in that game. He had played, it's not uncommon for because he's a freshman. Now, I think we got away from running the ball, and then we turned it over right after that. And then we didn't see it again because we were in a 2-minute drill after they scored. I don't get that. I thought he should have been, we had one possession after they missed their field goal.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I think that he should have been in the game, and he wasn't. Because he was able to make that cut 3 holes over, which when they're blitzing and doing all that, there's going to be a hole somewhere. You just got to find it.
That was the drive that culminated in the 52-yard field goal right after the missed field goal for the Wolverines.
Yeah, his lateral jump was amazing. I agree with you.
He looks like Mark Ingram's twin. The way he runs, the way he carries himself, everything. But he has been hurt all year.
Back to the center, Wes, before you hang up on me. I want to know what you think. Are we going to – I know that guy's got another year of eligibility.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not – I know that he's the best center they have right now. You just can't just play somebody at center, especially
guys can get better.
Yeah, but I mean, so he's had some good games. That wasn't his best game, no question. And he is a guy I don't think will play in the NFL, and the only one on the offensive line I can say that about, that I don't think will play in the NFL. He's made some good plays. That was not his best game. He was playing against a really, really good player.
Steve, appreciate the phone call, sir. Don't be a stranger in 2024. Likewise, same can be said about Jen. Don't be a stranger here in 2024. How was your New Year's?
Oh, it was good. How was yours?
It was very good.
Mine was busy.
Yes, it was.
It was because I was here. And if you weren't here, you missed out.
I certainly did. I did.
And that being said, so I'm looking at all these TVs everywhere. Guess what all the ads are? Have you noticed what the ads all are? They're all these fat people trying to get skinny.
It's that time of the year.
Oh, so we're on that same roll, too. We have skinny margaritas. We have skinny beer. There is such a thing. All that light beer? No? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
My dad said that He gained 30 pounds when they came out with light beer.
Well, then come on to the factory. We gotcha. How's that? We're all about that. And our nachos? They're skinny nachos.
Skinny nachos.
Oh, yeah. You know,
Really?
they're healthy. We got all this salmon, you know, all that good stuff. For all these New Year's people that want to be skinny, you can still come to the bar and get a nice skinny drink, a skinny beer.
There you go.
Get you some salmon and a salad. There's nothing
Great
better than that
salads here.
sexy salmon salad.
They do have a really good
Do you
salmon
not
salad.
love that?
Yeah.
That is like delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's making me hungry and it's making me thirsty. Maybe that's because I'm looking at all your food here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. And I feel like everybody's a little bluesy today.
Yeah, they are. I mean, it's like a...
You kind of feel that way? Like I feel everybody's bluesy.
Well, first of all, everybody stayed up to midnight watching the second game. Well, most people did.
I did.
I did.
And so...
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, and then you got to go back to work. And it's like
Well,
and then
okay.
the death of the tide.
You
I mean,
gotta
yeah.
go back to work.
now.
And losing to Harbaugh even worse, right? I mean,
Oh, come on.
because Harbaugh acts like they're in it every year. I mean, you know, I have problems with his attitude.
Well, he's going to the NFL after Monday anyway, so.
But I don't know if he will or not.
I bet he will.
I don't know.
You know, can't we just like look at the glory days that we've had for a million years and just be so glad?
Oh, we're
all
appreciative of
that.
that. I don't mean.
So something else did halt last night as well. How many years in a row? I think it's since 2008 that Bama's been ranked number 1 at some point during the season.
That stopped
this year.
Well, I'll
Think
drink to
about-
that.
think about
That's
that.
amazing.
I mean, yeah, that run.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing.
From 2008 to 2022,
Yeah.
at some point being ranked number 1 during the year.
Roll Tide.
Well,
I can't
I will
believe
tell you
said
this.
that.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
So, I will say this, that I believe that the transfer portal has hurt Alabama. It's helped us get one, but I believe
Certainly did.
I believe it hurt us this year, having all those offensive linemen leave, and everybody wants to know is not somebody. Well, yeah, there's some guys that would be pushing the McLaughlin, but I'm not blaming it on just. Well, I feel sorry for him today.
Yeah,
he's caught a lot of heat. You know, it's a tough job, and some of those you got a 6'3" quarterback, and Bryce Young probably spoiled him because Bryce can catch anything. And you know, I was worried about this. I was worried about the team's attitude over all this Lane stuff, selling the T-shirts and all that.
Yeah.
And everybody's against them, and then they win a championship. They won the Southeastern Conference. I loved it.
Well, even Jalen's comment about the former offensive coordinator.
I didn't like all that.
Yeah.
And he kind of backed up on it the next day.
Yeah.
To me, it was like I showed everybody already,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
really,
You haven't done
and then when he slid on the second play of the game or the third play of the game, when he possibly could have got a first down, I was like, well, that ain't Bill right. I mean, so, and I, talked a lot about with some of my friends, and they had the same concerns that the biggest thing that gets you, and just takes just a little bit, when you're not playing on edge, is that feeling of I've made it, I did it, right? And just that little bit of edge taken off of it is that winning edge is what it is. And I think they lost that a little bit, and they tried to get it back at the end in the second half, and it's hard to do that against a really good football team.
Jen, if there's folks in the doghouse, how do they get out of it? How do they reach
Oh,
you?
they come here and drink.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
More tequila, right? Skinny tequila. Hey, FurnitureFactoryBarGrill.com. They can call me. You can have parties. We'll book a party, a sob story party.
Just because December's over doesn't mean you can't have a party.
And do we have the Super Bowl coming up?
That's right.
I think
About
it's
a month away.
Yes, we've got that. So come on for parties. It isn't Monday. There's some kind of football on Monday.
I don't know. We're going to look into that.
Okay.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Electric cars are coming faster than you think, and that's why we're bringing SEMA Connect to Alabama.
Our team educates you and helps provide a long-term plan for your business. Where to put them, how to get them there, how to pay for them, tax incentives, service, and monitoring. We take care of everything.
Doing the right thing means bringing EV car chargers to Alabama. Let us help you with your EV charging plan.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. Discipline for David Tepper. Panthers owner fined $300,000 after video emerged of him pouring his drink in the direction of a fan outside his owner's box in Jacksonville on Sunday. Panthers lost to the Jags 26-0 to fall to 2-14 this season. Tepper saying in a statement, "I am deeply passionate about this team and regret my behavior on Sunday. I should have let NFL stadium security handle any issues that arose. I respect the NFL's code of conduct and accept the league's discipline for my behavior." Elsewhere, Michigan punched their ticket to the College Football Playoff Championship with a thrilling OT win over Bama. Sets up a showdown with Washington and what some are speculating could be Jim Harbaugh's last game. Michigan wins the NFL sideline next fall.
Harbaugh wasn't even really trying to resurrect the program. He was trying to erect the program. Bo Schembechler won 0 national championships. I think he will feel like he did what he set out to do. Beating Ohio State 3 straight years. He just beat Alabama. I think he'll feel like he can walk away and say, I did the job I came here to do.
Greeny on Greeny. In the NBA, Sixers looking for some revenge against the Bulls tonight. Chicago took the front end of a home-and-home on Saturday. Joel Embiid didn't play in that one. He'll be back tonight. Sixers have won 12 of 16 games at home this season. They're favored by 9.5 on ESPN Bet, with tip-off coming shortly.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Wednesday, Lamar Jackson is the MVP, but is he also the player in the league with the most pressure to win a Super Bowl? It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
97.7 ESPN, The Zone. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
First show of 2024, live here from Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Along with Wes Neighbors, Steve Moulton back here with you, and left the first hour open to your phone calls, and certainly took quite a few of those calls, and we'll get right back to you. Diane and Bryce will get to you here right after we're done talking to Coach Jack Crow, who's kind enough to join us, our first guest of 2024. How are you, Coach? Happy New Year to you.
Steve, I'm honored. I'm good. I'm honored to be the first. Thank you.
Well, I mean, the obvious place to start is the Rose Bowl. What did you see, Coach?
This may be more than you ask, but 40 years ago, I was in a bowl game against Michigan that really had the consequences of the national championship even before the playoffs.
You sure did.
You remember this, Wes?
I do.
And I can tell you at the time when the game was over with, excuse my French, those were the toughest son bitches we ever played against.
Where is
And
Al
you know
Del
what?
Greco?
Excuse my French. I hope you didn't have to bleep all that.
We did.
We're good.
All right, because I really think that Michigan's line of scrimmage, they're not that all the time, but I thought their line of scrimmages were just consistently tough. Not to say, listen, I'm pulling for Alabama the whole time. Don't take this wrong, but I think when they scored like they scored on offense, and to get the lead in overtime, that was a statement. Just toughness, and no discredit to Alabama. That's not what I'm doing, but you got to realize that toughness is so rare in college football today. It's rare. Wes, you know this. It's rare. And when you really come across it, you gotta tip your hat. And I think that Alabama could have easily won that football game, which means they're equal to the toughness. But they rolled out there against some tough folks, and they're one play away from beating them. So that says something about the Tide too, man.
It's all about making the plays, though, isn't it? I mean, there was a little luck. I felt like, you bat 4 balls up in the air, you're supposed to get at least one of them. And one of the bats actually helped complete the pass.
That's right.
And that was a big third down. That was on third down. So, I thought Michigan's quarterback played amazing in the game. I mean, he covers up a lot of what they don't do.
By the way, that third down completion was only their second third down conversion of the game.
It was all about getting them.
They could not pass protect against Alabama, let me tell you, and they knew it.
The whole thing to me, Coach, is keeping them behind the chains. I said that before the game, where we could rush forward and cover. And they weren't able to do it the whole game. The only problem is we had trouble. To me, it's all year against Auburn, against Texas. There are some other games in the halves that we had. Our linebackers have trouble filling the right gaps, and you go back and look at the play. Everybody's perfect except the linebacker takes the inside, gets hooked instead of being where he is, and everybody else has penetration. And that's led to the wrong run, right? Everybody, it only takes one guy.
I get it. And, I still see Alabama as probably 2 years behind Michigan maturity-wise. It's
no
just
question.
A young football team, man, and young football teams make mistakes. And you try to coach to overcome it. And sometimes when you try to coach to overcome it, you don't get it right. And, last play was an example of, it's just a chess match, and, they had one unblocked defender, and they turned him loose on the edge, and, it's hard to run the ball in 3 yards when you got a free edge rusher that just has got a dead aim on the guy that's running the ball. Hey, listen, I'm more impressed with Alabama every time I see them play. I just wish I could have watched them one more time, because if they'd had another week, they would have got another week better, Let's go to 2024, man.
Well, got a lot to replace, a lot of leadership to replace. And
they got it, though. You know that, Wes. They got it.
Yeah, but they have a lot of young talent there. Heard Coach Saban talking to that young talent all year long, talking about he never had a scout ask if he played as a freshman. You think he's telling us that, or he's telling them that? He's telling them that.
Yeah,
I mean,
he never talks to us. He's always talking.
Talking to his team, no question.
Always. 5-stars on one team, trolling anybody. And, anybody that doesn't think the formula isn't in place, I'd say you better rethink it, because it's, the formula is in place. They just, if they need another year with, with the quarterback position and melting it all together, they really tried to take the last play. They tried to take his decision making out of the game and just make it about his skill. And they tried to finesse it, and they sent that guy in motion. Wes, I think they thought they were going to soften the edge, and the backside linebacker went with him, and that meant the edge guy. At that point in time, I'd been upstairs. I'd been screaming, "Call timeout!"
I don't think they had another one, did they?
I don't think so.
They didn't. So they played the chess game by each one of them looking at it and changing their mind. I mean, and so that's the way go-to-goals are, man. I mean, I've been in them. I've called them. Bo over the top was a go-to-go. I've seen, and Bo going the wrong way was a go-to-go. You don't always get it right, and I wouldn't. They tried a finesse element, and the finesse element didn't run. But I'll tell you this, Wes, the up front, they blocked those guys. They blocked them. If the ball had been outside the block of the tight end, he'd walked into the end zone. There's only one problem. There was an unblocked defender outside the block of the tight end. I don't know how much he studied, but it was.
Yeah, I thought the tight end didn't come off the ball well enough. Once the guy took the inside position, you got to keep driving him in.
Yeah.
I mean, and he actually stepped with his wrong foot after that happened. If he steps with his inside foot, he pushes him down in the pile, and maybe he does take it outside.
You saw where the quarterback's a quarterback. He's not a tailback. I mean, man, you're asking for some magic to happen there. And he ducked his head. He just tried to, I feel, I have pain for Jalen, honestly. He fought his ass off, man. He got a little tight, though.
He was tight. There's no question about that. And he was looking at the rush. He got to looking at the rush, which can be normal. And in a game like that, I truly think that he lost his edge and then fought to get it back. And sometimes you try too hard, and when he was trying to do too much instead of.
Where I put it.
And I said this early, he's trying to make a move instead of just running around the guys on that play he fumbled. If he just keeps running, they're not going to catch you. I mean, I think that that was the biggest play of the game was the fumble. I think it turned the whole game around.
The poise that he played with against Auburn, you got a month that you got to sit around and think about one football game, man. A month. And you get to having things in your head, and you're doing interviews, and everybody's trying to, show you the play you made on 4th and 31, and it gives you a different perspective of. I mean, you're in the Rose Bowl. That's in the fight song, man. It's pretty big. And so he needs some seasoning. I don't know how the fans feel about it, but what a hell of a year! What a hell of a year! I mean, that young football team and him. I mean, they just got better and better and better, and they lost it on one play.
I mean, are you kidding me? Wait on that. You think that bunch is going to be, I'm going to use a word, you think they're not going to get crunked between now and next season?
Oh, yeah. I think it'll be good. They're going to be real good. Like, they got a lot of talent coming. It's going to be fun to watch this team develop and hopefully grow off that. They're been an amazing 17 years. I know that.
It's something. It really is, and everybody in the country knows it too. Let me tell you what. Michigan will remember this game for the rest. I mean, it'll go down in eternity at Michigan. That tells you anything.
I like the way they're acting. I don't think they realize they don't get to come get all our trophies.
It was, in my opinion, just, ESPN made a lot of money. I'll put it that way.
I think there's no doubt they got the games right. There were two great football games. Absolutely great football team.
Problem is, the final game isn't going to have half the viewership of the two quarterfinal games.
Yeah.
It's not going to even have half the viewership of the quarterfinal games. So what does that tell you?
Yeah. It tells a lot. It really does.
Yep. So I tell you, Wes, I think maybe you should have been the center for that game.
That is the first time I've heard that today.
I bet not.
But I tell you what I think has happened, Wes. I think people realized what kind of position to put his blocking assignment in to make him have to step and turn his body that created all that awkwardness. And I think over time, you show somebody, I mean, it's so easy today to pick up patterns. And if that was
totally agree. Well, that guy's one of the 55 he's a real dude now. You got to bring it.
He's a hell of a player, but in this day and time, if you show some vulnerability, just a little vulnerability, it used to be a little hard maybe to zero in on it because you didn't amass so much video information where you got to study it. Do you know how easy it is to push a button and look at every snap that was off center for the whole season for Michigan? You know how easy that is?
Yeah. Hey, I know it. And not only that, Coach, they got a month to prepare. I was seeing stuff. I think they took stuff. I saw defenses, the same defenses and same schemes Texas A&M ran when they beat Alabama. I saw schemes on offense that Auburn ran. I saw schemes. Anybody had success in the last 5 years, they ran the plays. I'm telling you.
I granted, absolutely, 100%. I mean, I'll say this about Michigan now. That guy that's coaching them, they don't not only know your signals probably, but they know every element of weakness you've ever shown, from a bad snap to a bad step, and that was the ultimate challenge of preparation, because they had it down now.
So, what's interesting, Coach, I don't know if you know this, I don't know if Steve knows this, but the Alabama players did not look at their catapult system because they thought it had been hacked.
Oh, wow.
Did they? I had no idea.
Their computer system.
Yeah.
Now, nobody said that it was Michigan that did it.
Oh, hey, every coach is paranoid anyway. Okay.
Oh, I know that, but
you'd have told me that, oh, Lord.
You need to Google that. It's a story. I read it. I mean.
Oh, wow. Man.
Catapult national championship game. Do what?
I didn't see a single time, quite honestly, where there was a vulnerability other than the calls. I thought that early on they brought 5, and about the time they figured out that, or they started scheming up, then all of a sudden they were in zone. You know, there's a guy that was calling defenses at Michigan. His name is Jesse Mentor. Rick Mentor is his dad. He was born in Little Rock. I mean, I got a history with the family. And I'm telling you, he was one step ahead of his adjustments. Now, he has a history at Notre Dame, too. His dad's got a history with Lou Holtz. If you know where I'm going here with Tommy. I mean, there was a chess game being played. I'm telling you, a major chess game that was being played. Calls versus calls. It was big time. From my perspective as somebody that has lived in this world, there was more information that had been processed that was being thrown. I mean, to me, that was a game for all ages in terms of coaches making calls. It was a friggin' classic, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was a great. So I saw on both sides. The thing, coach, and I had another coach text me and said Alabama ran one high man under way too many times, and that's why they had so much trouble covering the back out of the backfield, is they knew what we were in, and you got to change that up. So I didn't like the coverage. I didn't of the game. They didn't show enough what was going on downfield. They just kept showing Milroe getting sacked, but he's looking downfield, and like you said, a lot of those were on him. He has to get rid of the ball.
Yeah. And it was man-free early, and for some reason, and you know what happens when defensive backs really believe that the front is going to be there. I mean, they really believe it. They're going to squat, grab. They're going to close on those routes so early that a quarterback is not going to see separation. And they all believe they had a safety over the top. But there was just no separation on the early release for Jalen. There just wasn't enough separation. Now, if you had an old-timer, he would have forced it in there anyway. He'd picked out a guy that he thought would, catch it even though he was covered and just force it in there. But he held the ball. But there was a reason he held the ball. I mean, those guys were jumping routes. I mean, big-time jumping routes, but the front got there. So there was no price to pay. And about the time you're thinking, in fact, I was sitting with some people, I said, be ready because they're going to max protect and they're going to double move and they're going to be out to practice early. About the time I said that, they're in 3-deep zone. And, it was just a hell of a chess match. Big-time chess match, man. That game was for play calling. Both sides. I agree with that. Big time. You're supposed to have great coaches making great calls, but there's great calls on both sides. and both sides, I mean, Kevin made some great calls. But, man, what was a great call the last play? You better be ready for the next one, But what a great game! It was a great game, and I don't have anything but just total admiration, quite honestly, Wes, for what they got done with that Alabama football team. I think Michigan is an older, more seasoned team, and I think maybe when it comes down to one play, Alabama's got better athletes. I can tell you that. There was nothing in there that told me that Michigan had better athletes. Alabama.
I think they were more seasoned, though. I think they were more seasoned. I don't think there's any question
way
about
more
that.
seasoned. Well, way more seasoned. That's what that was a little bit more boys and men kind of stuff right there now. And that tick that'll change. Alabama folks just need to just get ready for the next one. Auburn folks wish they could say that.
Well, so talk. What happened in the bowl game? What was? I mean, looked like to me Auburn didn't even show up for the game.
21-0 before people could get settled in.
Was that kind of a? They didn't know what to expect quarterback wise, or
no? Don't make it complicated, man. It's culture. They don't have a culture. And maybe he sacrificed a year to, year two, he'll be like Dion and just start all over again. I can't say he got a damn thing accomplished this year except recruiting, and that's yet to be seen. Because, you can have a losing season and still have something definitive about who you are and how you play. Maybe somebody can give me some tapes and tell me different. I didn't see anything definitive in Auburn. I thought what happened against New Mexico State was more who they were at the end. Now, what is this anomaly called how they play against Alabama? That's sort of hard to explain. But
they look good against Arkansas, though, Coach. They look real good.
Yeah,
and Arkansas is not a great football team, or maybe not even a good football team.
Arkansas quit, Wes.
Yeah, that's what I thought, too.
Quit. Don't give Auburn any credit when the other side just shows up and don't play. Auburn's got a culture. The university has a culture. They have a culture athletically. It's not like the bottom is, as far away. But they have from the top because they got a culture. They can move quick. I can't, ain't no different than Harsin and me. They're operating at the bottom of the culture, and that's 3 out of 3 years in a row. Lord, be careful. You do this for too damn long, buddy. I don't know if it's coaching staff or what it is, but they better teach them boys to fight. Oklahoma drills.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Have a damn Oklahoma drill for a whole damn spring.
Yeah, well, that's what we did every day, the board drills, after our 5 and 6 seasons with Jimmy Fuller.
They might need to understand this world's not built about damn wide receivers and corners. They better get some damn toughness.
No question.
Well, Coach, I don't know if I don't know if you're hearing the same things I'm hearing, but I'm hearing that the game has passed Nick Saban by, and that there's 15 other SEC teams that are calling for his retirement.
Steve.
Sir.
This guy is not going away.
No. No.
And I'm telling you, he worked as hard recruiting this year. I heard a number the other day, and I wish you'd tell me whether this is right or not. There are 18 five-stars on the Alabama roster. The other 3 teams in the playoffs combined had 11.
The problem is they're
youngin.
They're young. But why would they? My point about Nick is, why would they be there? They're there because of Nick Saban. Nick Saban in Alabama, but hell, the brands are synonymous. But no, I'm gonna tell you what. Anybody thinks that guy's done, I'd check their brain power.
I'm sure there's 15 other SEC schools that would prefer him to walk away, but I didn't get that sense, especially in the post-game press conference where you could tell he was very proud of his football team, but I didn't sense any finality by any means in that press conference last night.
I don't know how many head coaches that I look at, I think, and this is an old saying, that they've got the heart of their team in their hand when they stand in that locker room. Wes knows what I'm talking about. Before the game, halftime, after the game, in that locker room, that's where the true essence of it all is. How many coaches, when they walk in there, actually have the heart of that whole locker room in their hand? Nick Saban, when he loses that, he'll walk out the door on his own. That guy sitting next to him will fight his pajeezies off for Nick Saban. How many schools can say that?
That's never been better said.
Yeah.
I love these people talking to me. I talked to somebody today saying, well, you know, he could go on the TV and this. He doesn't want to go on TV. He hates the TV.
He ain't going nowhere. You know, anyway, about to share something I shouldn't share, but, you know, he's like that old man, Wes. He's like that old man. He's like Coach Bryant.
He's in better shape than Coach Bryant. Yeah.
He's in better shape, and he ain't said it yet, but Coach Bryant said one day, I'll be dead. When you going to retire, Coach? I'll be dead in 30 days, and he was. This guy's cut out of the same cloth.
He's doing what he enjoys. It didn't work to him. I don't think he cares about the money, really.
Oh, he don't. Hey, when he puts that straw hat on and he goes out there with that whistle behind his neck and he walks up to those corners and they break down, he'll do that till he can't do it no more.
Yeah. I like watching them stretch.
Yeah. You know, he sort of evaporates as the practice goes on, but at the end of the practice, he's the dude.
Well, there's no doubt who the dude is right here, and that is Coach Jack Crow. Coach, we can't thank you enough
great talking
for hopping on and give us your analysis as well, Coach.
We appreciate y'all, Steve. Wes, I'm going to come see you sometime.
Please come see me.
I will.
That is
appreciate
Coach.
Y'all. Take care.
Thank you, Coach.
Bye-bye.
Good insight there from Coach Jack Crow. I knew we'd get good stuff from Coach, who was locked into the semifinals yesterday. And incidentally, coming up on Monday, we will have the national championship game for you. ESPN Radio is your place for the national championship game, and we're your home for ESPN Radio. That coverage on Monday, by the way, starts at 5:30 on Monday. Let's go ahead and take our first time out. If you still are on hold, Diane and Bryce, we'll get right to you on the other side. If not, we got lines open for you, 256-576-4977.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com. You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
These days, saving time is important, and saving money is even more so. That's where Eagle Masonry and Insulation comes in. Over the years, Eagle has expanded their services to meet the needs of folks like you in our area. If you need masonry, brick, stone, or block work, Eagle should be your first call. They can even help if your property needs grading, erosion control, and Eagle can handle dirt haul-off. Call Eagle Masonry and Insulation today at 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time, and Eagle saves you money.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-Sparky.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is Wes Neighbors sitting here with Stan McDonald. Stan, tell everybody why you're the best damn dirt lawyer in North Alabama.
Yes, Wes, at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. You know I'm a dirt lawyer, and a lot of our friends know that, which means we specialize in real estate. Now, if you own real estate or you're buying it or you're selling it, you need to do a closing, but a lot of times there's legal issues associated with that. We're a great group to talk to. My son, Lewis McDonald, heads our commercial closing division, and we approach your real estate needs very seriously. We seek to be the premier real estate closing company in North Alabama, and we do it in such a way it shows that we're experienced, we're for your success. We like to handle your real estate needs the same way Coach Dan Reeves used to say, never let them see you sweat. And that's going to be to your benefit, too, when you visit us at Jacob Title and the Stanton Law Firm. Our website online is jacobtitle.com.
The new favorite place for delicious Mexican food is Coralejos Mexican Grill in Huntsville. Check out their reviews on Facebook and you'll see what people are raving about. Enjoy drink specials all day Monday through Thursday, like house margaritas for $3.99 and 12-ounce drafts for $2. Even vegan-friendly entrees on Monday starting at 5. Coralejos Mexican Grill, 1658 Old Monrovia Road in Huntsville. Follow them on Facebook and Instagram to stay updated on their specials.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I've got a song, I ain't got no melody. I'm gonna sing it to my friends. I've got a song, I ain't
Back here at Mark Camara's Furniture Factory Bar and Grill. Phone lines open to you. Got a couple of lines open at 256-576-4977. Promised Diane and Bryce we'd get right to them. Diane, you've been holding the longest. Appreciate you holding. How are you, Diane?
I'm doing okay, except for being bummed out over the results of the game.
There's a lot of folks that are.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have a question about something Wes just mentioned, that article I had read about the hacking of the iPads and into the Catapult program.
Yes.
And if I understood it right, it's an actual thing, and the FBI is actually involved in the investigation, and it crossed state lines. And I thought what I read was that they actually have one particular person, Weiss or whatever, from Michigan that was fired, that they think was involved in it. Is that right?
I have not read that part of it. I've only read one story from ESPN.com.
I've heard rumors about that, but I don't know if that's true or not. And I'm not saying that Michigan did anything, and I'm just saying that is
it's just awfully convenient, isn't it?
It's interesting that was. I mean, so. The first person that mentioned it was Isaiah Bond.
That's right.
And I thought, I was like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
And then I heard a question about it, but I wasn't really paying attention. You know, I knew this would come up, people make a big deal, but then I read an article, and the article was interesting. Now, I didn't know the information about they've got somebody, a person of interest. I didn't know I heard the FBI was involved now.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting where that leads, though.
The one article I read was from Bama Hammer, I guess.
I'm not familiar with that website.
Not familiar with that source.
Yeah. I really try to go for On3, ESPN, 247, those types of Associated Press.
I read with the
not
article.
To say that those companies cannot.
Right now, it could be right. Yeah, but, you know. Anyway, it'd be interesting. I don't. You know, it's.
There is a recent story that I did read from Odyssey, and Odyssey is a legitimate source, and they went through the data breach, and evidently this is not just surrounding college football teams. This is also surrounding MLB, NHL, AFL, that's Australian Football League, as well as the NFL. So there's more than 3,800 teams in over 40 sports that have this system.
Oh yeah, it's the catapult system also does the where it times you. They have chips in your pads and all that also.
Just interesting timing, Diane.
Yes, interesting timing, exactly.
Yeah, definitely. And is it true that one of the things that somebody who hacked into it might have access to would be film of the team practicing?
That is correct. Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
In fact, Isaiah Bond, that was part of what he said, quote, we were able to watch film as a team like personnel. We watched film because I don't know, for some reason, Michigan stealing signs. Our coaches told us that probably like a week ago, right before we left to come to California. That is the quote from Isaiah Bond.
Wow. Well, it'll be interesting to see if something comes of it or not. The
They might have done all the plays.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They watch it practice.
Heck, who needs signs, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
Exactly. Well, my husband and I love to listen to your show. Y'all do a great job. So.
Thank you, Diane. Happy New Year to you and your husband.
Happy New Year.
Bryce, he has also been holding for a while. Appreciate you holding, Bryce. How are you?
I'm okay. Listen, guys, I don't blame it on the center as much as I blame it on the defense for letting them score that 75-yard drive for kick it in overtime. Okay? So people didn't think about that, did they? The defense, they just as accountable as anybody. You lose as a team, you win as a team. But I thought the defense kind of let them off the rope because they'd been stopping them,
Well, they did. They made plays. I mean, I think the point of holding Michigan to 20 points,
that's a winnable.
You're supposed to win the game, yeah. But I agree with you, Bryce. I mean, you got to stop them. They didn't make any the plays they needed to make on offense or defense in the last 10 minutes. There's no question about that. Yeah.
Well, I was kind of questionable when we had that Michigan's defense, and I don't like to question somebody knows more than I do, is why didn't we keep running the ball? Because I thought we had their defense getting tired, and we kept throwing that little pass over there that wouldn't get no yards at all. I
agree. I don't know what that call was bothering me too. We run it to the short side of the field where Milroe would run it. It was like the triple option. Mm-hmm. They had it well covered every time. I mean, we made 5 or 6 yards a couple times, but why are we running that to the short side of the field? And if it worked big, I understand you come back to it, but we got 3 yards a couple of times, and I thought that 22 was running the ball really good, and I think we passed way too much the entire game. I think
Haynes ran the ball 4 times.
For how many yards?
31.
Exactly. That's what I was.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
How many times did you pass it?
Let's see here. Bama passed it 23 times, ran the ball 43 times.
Yeah, they passed it 23, but how many times did they go back to pass? 30, because they had 6 or 7 sacks.
Yeah. You're right. And I thought we were running the ball down their throat, and then we just started throwing that little pass. But if we're going to pass the ball, why didn't we try to do like the end of rounds or something like that and put the ball in Isaiah Bonds or Kendrick Law's hand?
That was honestly my one thought on that 4th and 3 play. I thought Bond was going to be involved. I really did.
I think he wasn't involved enough in the game. The guy's a playmaker. You got to give it to Michigan. Somehow they kept him from getting the ball, and because the coverage was so bad. I have no idea what they were doing downfield because they didn't show it.
Bond was targeted 5 times and he caught 4 passes.
Been a perfect time to call that play. You roll out to the left, and if it's not open for the run, throw it to the tight end.
The whole thing's, to me, I would have rolled Bill out, roll out, but I don't know what. I'm not at practice every day.
Hindsight's always 20/20.
I don't know what to do. Tom Abraham had the best play, though, I think, is the old tight end, Tebow tight end, where they jump pass. I think that would have worked.
That would have worked.
But the play down there too.
Yeah, but it's easy to say that now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, I kept waiting for the tight end to be a bigger part.
So I can't. So the plays are called. What we don't know is where they check with Mees.
Yeah.
Meaning that they had more than one play called during the whole game.
Yeah.
How many games were checks? How many times did he make the right check, wrong check? So play calling to me is, and I say this, it's a lot, but it's also overrated because you don't know what the intention of what the guy has because it could be they can check out of it, they can change the play, they can do so many different things nowadays.
Bryce, anything else, sir?
Yeah. One other thing, guys. Did y'all not think that I'm gonna make this as nice as I can make it. Do y'all think any way in the game did you have any indication that the referees wanted us to win?
Well, they're not supposed to.
No, I mean they're
I'm talking about
the rough and the pass, the rough and the kicker.
Yeah, the rough and the kicker was bad.
Awful.
Yeah.
Other than that,
there was 5 penalties called in the game. 5.
I didn't think
3 for Bama, 2 for Michigan.
Yeah, the three, and we were in motion all 3 times, and the center had one of those. You can't have. I can honestly say I never had. How does a center false start?
Yeah.
He has the ball. Either snap it or don't snap it. Anyway.
But no, I'm talking about when not Bonds, but when Burton caught the ball down there, the guy clearly had a hold of his jersey, and he don't get the first down, but
that was I would have made that call either.
You would or would not?
I would not have made the call. I mean, they all grab him.
Yeah.
Go look and watch us. They're letting that stuff go. I mean, if he'd have grabbed him and held him.
Yeah, that's a different deal.
Or it affected the play where he couldn't get back to the ball, I'd say yeah.
What about?
I get it though. I mean, what would make me mad if they called that on Alabama and then didn't call the other way, then I'd be mad.
I'm talking about the one that was on Twitter where the guy kicked our guy. Did you see that, Wes?
No, I didn't see that now. I honestly, I don't think
I'm sure there was other cameras that had better angles than the ones that was showing the
on
game.
TV. Yeah, that's the truth. I thought the coverage was horrible. I mean, I couldn't figure out what was going on, to be honest with you.
I just thought that was so blatant, that kicker, and then I saw that on Twitter. That really got my blood pumping.
To me, that was targeting by 44 with a guy on the ground, and he speared him in the head. That's a penalty when I play. That would have been a penalty when I play.
Spearing.
There are not many penalties. You can't do that. You couldn't do that 30 years ago. And that guy was like, what did I do wrong? I'm like, really? I mean, you can jump on him, you can do what you want to, but you can't take your helmet. And it was clearly targeted. I thought you
were going to say and use it as a weapon.
Yeah. They had the Lyle rule. Yeah. That's you can't take somebody else's helmet.
That's right.
Yeah, that was the Lyle rule.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Coach Stone couldn't have said it any better than me. The ratings for this game will be nothing like the first two. The one coming up Monday.
I don't know. Michigan is a national brand. but Washington certainly isn't. But I think some new blood, maybe there will be. I think there'll be a few folks. I'm going to watch Monday. Are you watching Monday?
Yeah, I'm pulling for Washington. The Pac-10's gone, and now they go win.
This is an all Big Ten matchup coming up.
With Michigan, by the way, do not deserve to be in there, not because they beat us, they cheated. I've told you that all since that happened, Wes. They didn't deserve, and they cheated. You know, it's simple.
It's hard to argue with.
There is no comeback on that.
No, it's going to be interesting where this catapult, where the FBI goes with this. So, I mean, I didn't know the FBI was involved till, and I don't really. Yeah. I'm assuming that. Did you say the FBI was involved?
No, she did.
I don't know if that's the facts or not, but if it is involved, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. Well, Harbaugh needs to get a no-show clause where he can't coach nowhere, and not even in the NFL. If that's true.
I don't think I don't think they can do that. I don't. Yeah.
Thank you, Bryce.
Yeah,
appreciate the phone call, and
because but I appreciate y'all, and guys. No one, people want to blame the sprinter. Yeah, he has bad plays, but he didn't run him, and he didn't run 35 yards in overtime either.
So there's enough blame to go around any time you lose.
Bryce, I appreciate the phone call.
Especially in overtime, right? Because it's one play.
We do need to take our final time out, and Big Lynn, if you hang on with us, we'll take your phone call on the other side of our final timeout. First show of 2024.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
It's time to get ready for game day. That means Alabama football and tailgating. Whether you're tailgating at home or at Bryant-Denny, visit Brooks & Collier for North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Delta Heat, Memphis, and Traeger. Satisfy any palate with our wall of rubs and seasonings. For all your tailgating needs, visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for over 75 years. Roll Tide.
The kitchen is the heart of any home. It's where the family gathers. It's where kids discover old recipes and make them their own. Just starting out or just now getting started on the dream kitchen you've always wanted?
I'm Chris Haygood, and from all of us here at Bob Wallace Appliance to the home builders and the homeowners of the Huntsville area, a heartfelt thank you for buying local. We're in Huntsville, Florence, and Coleman, and online at bobwallaceappliance.com.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time, or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing, we have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates, residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Football season and Bad Daddy's Burger Bar. The perfect combination of good times and great food. This season, score big with one of our chef-inspired expressions of pure burger amazingness. Our delicious burgers are made with premium Angus beef, and you can pair it with one of our signature cocktails or a cold craft beer from our huge selection. Bad Daddy's Burger Bar on the Parkway in Huntsville and our new location at Cliff Farm, Highway 72 in Madison.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. Temperatures drop into the lower 30s as we head into the overnight early into your Wednesday morning. Scattered showers are in the forecast for Wednesday afternoon. At some points in the day, that rain could be a little more widespread. At some points, we could get a good bit of dry time. Temperatures hanging out in the low and mid 40s. We're dropping into the lower 30s through the overnight. Thursday actually looks quite fantastic. It's going to be cooler. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 40s. A couple of folks hitting the lower 50s. But the real winner here is going to be the amount of sunshine we get on Thursday. We're talking about a mostly sunny sky. Cloud cover and rain build back into the Tennessee Valley as we head into Friday, and then especially through the weekend. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio. 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
From the Nick Saban Show.
We talk about finishing. That's like the number one word.
To Alabama football.
Touchdown, Alabama!
We are 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
So maybe the truest comment spoken today was by Coach Crow. The numbers are out. This is from ESPN Public Relations, ESPN PR on X. The Michigan-Alabama game, there was a total of 27.2 million viewers for the Michigan-Alabama game. That was the best semifinal since year one, when the highest ranked game back then was peaked at 32.8 million. But wow, really both games, Washington, Texas, peaked at 18.4 million.
It would have got the same ratings if it had been at the same time, right? I mean, I don't know.
So clearly college football expanding the playoffs. You're just going to see more of that, which means there's going to be more revenue because people are wanting the playoff. That, and it was also two really good games as well. Big Lynn is on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. How are you, Big Lynn?
I'm doing well, brother. How you doing?
Doing real well.
Hey, Wes. It's Lynn Hayes from Nick's Restaurante.
The only Big Lynn I know.
What's up, brother?
I'm doing good. Singer extraordinaire. There's not many people I know I did karaoke with.
I love you. Thank you for. I got that. Can I tell that story?
Absolutely.
All right. So, me and my buddy Tom Chapman, who owns Nick's Restaurante, we're in Gulf Shores. And we're in a room full of Kentucky fans. And we're Bama fans, so we're doing karaoke, and we're going to sing Sweet Home Alabama. And Tom is a little nervous, like he don't want to do it. Like, come on, man. And right when we get on stage, the whole Neighbors entourage walks in. And so it's Wes, Keith, wives, everything walking in the door. Wes gets us on stage, and the whole crowd gets quiet. They were yelling at me and Tom, but once Wes got on stage, nobody said a word. It was awesome. My point, hey Steve, my point is, what is up with our snapping? Like, the game was lost because we couldn't snap to our quarterback. We lost.
Well, it's no question that it hurt us.
When he broke the run. But the other 7 were drive killers, losing yardage. How can we not just make a snap? I mean,
well, so I'm going to tell you, he's had trouble with it all year, and I guarantee it's when he has to move to his left to make a block with his, because you got to snap. When you snap the ball, you got to step at the same time. And you know that guy is really, really good. So, to me, you got to make some adjustments at times. Whether they get under center some, change it up a little bit. You know, you can't get under. I know it. So I think, you know, it's hard for me to blame one person for an overtime loss. But it did. But I will agree. It did hurt us. There's no question. Bad snaps hurt you. You can't have them.
Even the fourth down play, the last play of the game, low snap. The hole is open to the left. If he snaps it to his chest, he's got momentum. He can go to his left. He scores a touchdown. I mean,
it could. Yeah,
it was just a bad snap.
I didn't think the last snap was horrible. I think the timing was, but there were some bad snaps that really hurt us.
Big Len, we are right up against a hard break. Appreciate the phone call, sir, and the story as well.
Hey, buddy, I'll see you soon.
Finally, ESPN had to apologize because of a woman flashing her breasts. Did you see this?
No.
During the Texas-Washington game.
I missed that.
You got to love New Orleans, right?
Oh, man, yeah.
New Orleans being New Orleans.
Yeah.
A woman briefly flashing her breasts.
She ought to have to give up her beads, right? They should have just made her give up her beads.
She needs...
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know,
all the beads, right?
Did you see it?
I did.
0 to 10?
8.5.
I got
Judging on a curve.
WCZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.